I'm Rachel Glincher. I work as a nurse on Iron 6 Pediatrics. Camp PALS is a one-week camp for teenagers with Down syndrome outside of Philadelphia. And one of my good friends actually started the camp, and they were in need of a nurse last summer. So right after I took my boards and passed, my first nursing experience was at the camp for teenagers with Down syndrome. And that is just an incredibly fun, rewarding, fantastic week and a way to give back and also really take a lot out of it from the teens themselves. There's about 80 campers and as many volunteers. There's one other nurse and myself that summer and one doctor to kind of hold down everything. And most of these campers are on lots of meds, have lots of cardiac issues and other congenital problems they've been born with. So it was a tough week, but I gained a lot of experience, and it was a nice segue between school and working in the hospital as a nurse. So I went back this past summer for my second year there, and I definitely plan on keep coming back. It's an incredibly rewarding experience. I think that in the hospital and working with families, we tend to see every family at their worst possible day and their worst possible moment. And in the stresses of the job and the busyness of the day, you sometimes forget why you went into it and exactly all the rewards and joys that it brings. But being with the Down syndrome population, you see the family and the patient outside of the hospital, and you see that this is their life, and you see the good parts of it and the hard parts of it. A lot of the teenagers with Down syndrome have battled leukemia. A lot of them had ALL and AML, so they battled leukemia. A lot of them have had congenital heart surgeries, open heart surgeries. They have reflux, they have hypothyroidism. They have all sorts of different things, and when we see them in the hospital, we see the worst possible day, in the worst scenario. So then when you go out and you see them in the best possible scenario, it really refreshes your mind. It's like, wow, I went into this for a reason, and this is why. I think one of the most rewarding things about being at the camp for the teenagers with Down syndrome was one of their eagerness to give back to the community. And they would come up to me and say, you know, we want to make it happier for the kids in the hospital. And they drew and colored cards, and I had hundreds of cards that these teenagers who were there for their week of fun, they had no need to do any of this, and they want to give back to the kids in the hospital. And when you're working with a population that is just that sincere and that passionate and on their own ideas wants to come up and help, you can't help not want to go back to work and do your best to help make everyone's experience that much better.